we have a problem.
Hello, Pit Droids. Welcome to the ninth episode of Droid Pit podcast. Today, there are only two of us, Deb.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and me, Sogimage, or Sojimoji. We came back from a short break. Deb actually was on vacation again.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, was quite nice. France is nice.
Oh, you've been to France.
Yeah. France is nice.
Have you met someone from X-Wing here?
No, it didn't have time. It wasn't like too long, and it was more sightseeing.
I know that we have some French members in X2PO. At least the administrator of X-Wing Wiki.
Yeah, and Gannon.
Oh yeah, Gannon also. Yeah, I would be happy to meet him, but I won't be in France. I don't know, like forever.
Yeah.
So how was it?
Was fun. Nice. Really nice city. We were in Lyon. Really nice city. And yeah, can recommend it. Southern France. It's a nice place.
Is it a region where Provence is?
It's the Provence. Lyon down to Marseille. It's the Provence.
Sorry for my pronunciation.
I do. I don't speak French, so probably not too accurate.
German and French are not the best friends historically. So I can say for myself that it was something interesting at that period. But I managed to play X-Wing in real life on a real table for the first time since January.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a demo game for my colleague. Actually, he also lives in Georgia right now. And it was a demo game, as most of my games today nowadays. But well, it was still fun.
Oh, when you talk about demo games, my local community has really going good. I just came back from a day of playing X-Wing with two of my locals. It's not too big, but it's going. We introduced a new player just came into the game like 3 weeks and immediately liked it.
Nice.
And and I'm starting my first tournament.
Oh.
So yeah.
So
anybody?
Tell us about your tournament. When and where?
It's in Germany. If you are in the middle of Germany, it's probably it's in the middle of Germany, and it's my first tournament. Just trying to get used to how to do TO stuff and the programs and everything. Because I didn't do it before, but I want to call the game, and tournament is a real good way to do it, especially now that we are like 4 or 5 people, and it's enough from where you can think about it.
Oh yeah, I had a plenty of tournaments run by myself for like 8 people, and it's okay. It's like 3 rounds, enough work, enough to get tired at least.
Oh yeah, I had 3 rounds today.
Yeah, so good luck with the tournament, and I'm happy to help if you need it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So if anyone listens and thinks building a community is hard, sometimes it's not easy, but I've never done it before Legacy, in real life and online, and especially like in real life, I know there are many Legacy players who probably don't have a community because it's dried up or something. I would I would encourage you just go out there, play, have fun. People will come, and for new people, like the game is good as ever, and yeah,
Oh yeah,
so
of
new
course.
people will like it, and the new player, for example, doesn't really care that it is not official or so. He likes the game, and so he plays it. And if
Yeah,
it's official or not,
yeah,
doesn't have any importance.
yeah, yeah. Basically, it's a game about making friends. So wherever
Yeah,
you're playing, just connect with people.
yeah.
And speaking of tournaments, the one of the main topics of our today's episode is what tournaments, tournaments, and Italy has
Tournaments. We
tournaments.
have yeah, and some quite large.
Yeah, they established a series of tournaments throughout the entire country and throughout the year in different cities. And we had
Yeah.
just two big tournaments. If I, uh, yeah, you can see it on the screen, on the video. And the first one was in Genova, if I pronounce it right. Yeah, it was in 29th of April. And the third one in the series just happened to be in Roma, like June 25th. Yeah. So we'll be looking at those
Yeah.
tournaments together with you because we just briefly took a glance at them and didn't dive too deep.
Yeah. So let's start with the first tournament.
30 players
Yeah, which is
in Genova.
quite a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we have
it's a large tournament. Actually, I have never been to a tournament that large.
yeah. I mean I was to two tournaments that were larger, System Open and German championship.
Yeah, and Italian players are known for their competitive side. They are like to compete with each other and with the rest of the world. So we can expect really competitive lists from them. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that they play in Legacy because they provide good data.
Yeah. And that's another thing. If you run a tournament, smaller or bigger, it really helps to get it online onto things like Longshanks, or especially the lists get online,
Yeah,
because that's helping us immensely.
yeah. If you run a tournament even for 4 people, it's
Yeah,
it's already a valuable data for us. Just export your tournament to this Fortress so everybody can see it and yeah, know what you're playing, what's winning, what's losing. It's really cool.
yeah,
So let's dive deep into the overall statistics of this tournament. So faction breakdown.
yeah.
Well,
So we
as you can
see that.
see,
Oh, you
yeah,
can
as you can
start.
see, there are not a lot of separatist players. So Confederacy of Independent System is not present in Italy almost at all.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but there are plenty of others.
Yeah. But yeah, with but I like I said, every faction has like players.
Yeah. So we have let's go from top to bottom. So we have 9 players for Empire, 6 players for Resistance. No, 7 players for Scum. They are on the second place. Third place is Resistance with 6 players. Then Rebels with 4, Republic with 3, and First Order with 2.
Yeah. yeah, interesting. Empire is really strong, and Scum is also really strong.
Yeah, we'll get to that later for to the feedback from Italian players about the overall balance in the game. But we can see that a lot of them are playing Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see a win rate for that factions. So the lower one is Scum and Villainy. It's only 38% of lists, 38% of games that we won. Like 12 wins, 20 losses. Yeah. And
Yeah,
slightly above that is R, Galactic Empire and Galactic Republic, with 47 and 40%, respectively.
and yeah, the lowest is Scum. That's another thing we will be getting back to in the feedback.
Yeah. So Scum, Galactic Republic, and Empire are pretty on the same level, like with the like 10, 8 point deviation or something like that.
Yeah,
And
I'm also
yeah.
I'm also fine. It's nice, interesting that the first player is going strong, or like if you will priority, the first player is still important
Oh yeah.
or good.
I guess a lot of players tend to choose aces. Maybe that's the reason, because aces are for pretty skilled players. Oh, the novice won't be winning games with aces.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, and we have Resistance First Order and Rebel Alliance on the top with above 60%. So 63, 63, 60% win rate.
Yeah, so it's the win rate, and most of the factions are good. Galactic Republic and Scambolini are a bit under the curve.
Yeah, but First Order is low on lists. It's only 2 people, so it's not uh, like it's not uh, the data
Yeah,
from First Order is not on the same level as Rebels or Resistance.
yeah, that's also true. Yeah, and for Galactic Republic too.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the large data set is basically Scum, Galactic Empire, and Resistance.
Yeah, and I think that data from uh, CIS is not reliable either.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't exist counts as unreliable. I agree.
Yeah.
um,
Well, Italian players, if you hear us, uh, show some love to the separatists.
they are nice and
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, actually, it's my favorite faction. So,
One of my favorite too.
yeah. Um, okay, let's go to lists, I guess.
Yep, let's go to this.
Yeah. Not all of the players entered their lists in XWS format. So Longshanks can show you the list like parsed from XWS with the icons and all that stuff, and actually gather data and process it. But if you enter list in any different format, it's just plain text, and the website cannot process it. So it's blank data for it. So we have data only from like 18 or something like that players in terms of
Yeah,
lists, of course. 16 players, yeah. And we can see that the statistics is pretty variable.
yeah. We still like we don't have really any a big overlap. Like from what we see, the two Republic lists are. Oh yeah, you see that's yeah. There's plenty of ships. Hmm.
Yeah, so
And
the most common ship is Delta 7, but I guess it's because of the amount of players and the reason that uh, players tend to bring several deltas
yeah, and
almost every time.
also nice that it's not like the Delta 7 is all Anakin or all Obi-Wan. It's out of 6, having 4 different pilots is it's really nice too.
Yeah, we have 5 TIE bombers from 16 lists, and I guess it's from one list because it's 5
Yeah,
skimitar
I
squadron
agree.
pilots. Yeah, we have 4 Darth Vaders in X1 by advanced.
Yeah, I think that could still need some tweaking potentially
Yeah,
because Darth Vader is really strong
yeah,
in
and
it.
no Darth Vader in Vader Defender version.
Yeah, which interestingly isn't there. It's just it could be there in the tournament, but not here in the list.
Yeah, we can see that there are 4 interceptors, and it's 3 center fails and 1 CNRE. Um, well, from the last update, things changed a bit for the mid initiative pilots, but I guess there's still there's still room for improvement.
Yeah, probably still need to be a bit cheaper.
Yeah,
Uh,
I understand because
More
I
interesting.
understand why they're picking Initiative 6 pilots. It's a squishy ship
Yeah,
in the first place.
I I think the community could use more the the Sigmas because the for hull is really strong.
Oh yeah, yeah. I played against Stigmas in the team tournament, and it's really strong. The force hole.
Yeah, I played 3 games today of it, and yeah, I starting to really like it because the one hull is so strong, especially if that's because because of course it's in the balancing it's a bit discounted because the full price would be too pricey.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like them. Probably now my mid in a favorite mid initiative interceptors.
Yeah. So I think that there is no point in discussing other ship entries for this tournament because it's not complete, and there are
Yeah,
a lot more ships than that. Um, and we can go to the third tournament in this series called Terza Tappa.
yep.
It was
There,
placed in Roma.
there we have a bit more information.
Yeah. Oh, I was too quick. Let's see who won the second
Oh yeah.
tournament. Wow, I was too fast. So 5-0 is only on so only Tomas Los has 5-0 and he's playing resistance. And let me guess, it's resistance pods and T70s. No, it's for A wings.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, with the
Interesting.
Heroic and Advanced Optics got a discount in March. I guess that's why
Ah,
they're on top.
that could be.
Yeah, but I can tell that Tommaso is a really experienced player. So
Yeah,
yeah,
probably that to a large degree.
yeah, I've played this heavy A wings list from Resistance, and they are tough if you don't have the right list, or which can deal with these nimble ships turning arcs and evading the 3 greens.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the back arc. It's a really strong ship.
Yeah,
Ever
with
as
Heroic and
always.
Advanced Optics.
Yeah.
And who do you think is on the second place with Empire?
I don't. What do you mean?
Darth
What
Vader,
list?
Sunterfell,
yeah.
and Grand Inquisitor.
It's a classic ace list.
Yeah, the holy trio of fiction.
Interesting. There was proton missile. Interesting. No doubt.
Proton rockets on Darth
Oh,
Vader?
I don't know. Yeah.
No, that's really good. 6
Yeah.
initiative, a lot of actions, target lock, and focus.
Yeah,
And
then resistance list.
yeah, on the third place, yeah, T-70s and 2 ports.
Yeah.
Let's see what the choice of pilots. It's Lieutenant Bastian that gets target locks. Nimichirin.
Who is really strong with and Sai.
And Zai Versio. So let me look at that pilots.
Sai Versio was a defensive. So you
Zai
get a
Versio. It's a new one from Hot Shots and Aces.
yeah.
While you defend, if the attacker is damaged, you may reroll 1 defense die.
Interestingly, I think we ranked the other one, the new one. I don't know what it's the back arc, the one who can shoot in the back arc.
Mr.
Higher.
Dozer. It's initiative 4. It's
Yeah.
it doesn't fit the list very well with initiative, I guess.
Probably.
And you need to invest more points in it.
Yeah, it's mainly the pretty sparse list on upgrades.
Yeah. But overall,
Like
this archetype is really tough.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Lock.
Hmm?
Hi, Lock. It's Lock's
Hi,
list.
Lock. Oh, okay.
Good job, Lock.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Lock's list. Okay.
Yeah. So let's go to the third one, the terza tappa.
Yeah. So we have some more information.
Oh yeah. Because of the terza tappa got all the lists from the players, and it was 22 players. With that, we can see all the statistics from the tournament through Pattern Analyzer. It's a pretty new community developed analyzer of List Fortress, and I also like the name too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's the about page shows us. Who did it? Who coded it?
Yeah, that's really handy to have these statistics ready to go.
Yeah, and it's really pretty. So someone called Sebald, I guess, and
yeah.
Okay, thank you for Pattern Analyzer, Sebald, and I'm happy that it can parse legacy data also. Not fully, because some points statistics are is off, because it looks only on 2.5 costs, but overall it's really good.
Yeah, agree.
So what we have here, again, the most popular factions are actually Rebels, Empire, and Scum, with the same amount of players. So 4 players per faction.
Yeah.
Then goes Resistance and Galactic Republic with 3 players. And after that, it's First Order and Separatist Alliance with 2 players. Finally, Separatist Alliance is present.
Yeah, it's present. Yeah.
Yeah, it's present, but it's underperforming.
Yeah. Yeah. The highest interesting resistance is really, really high.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I
it
think
seems
that
right now.
heroic and advanced optics boosted this faction again, once again.
Yeah.
So, what can we say about this tournament?
From you mean the general balance state?
I mean, like the performance of factions and who got the top 8.
Well, it seems like Resistance is really strong. Republic is also strong. Interestingly, Empire and Rebels aren't in the top 8, despite being like more than a quarter of the field.
Yeah.
Which is really like FO, Republic, and Resistance, which take up Scum. Take up half of the spectrum are in it, but Rebel is a bit in it. But Empire, for example, isn't in it at all, despite having nearly 20%, which I find interesting. And we saw in the tournament before that it's like Empire seemed to be really tweaker or really liked in Italy. But now in this tournament, we have a totally other lists or other faction.
Different scene.
Different scene, yeah.
Yeah, but
Which is really interesting to see.
again, it's not a lot of data. So for 4 players per faction, it's pretty inconsistent. But again, it's the best data.
Yeah, best data we have right now.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, well, perhaps exact the team tournament. We talked about it in our last podcast. But yeah, from the in-person play, it's the largest we have right now.
And yeah, we can see that all resistant players got to top 8, and almost all Republic players. We'll look at the lists later. So maybe we can see that there are a lot of A-wings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Z95, 95s.
yeah, actually the 95s. We'll look at it closer. Yeah. T70s and the other
T7.
ships are like almost singly represented, I guess.
Yeah.
And we can see the list of pilots that were present in people's lists, and most of them are represented by 1 copy. Some of them by 2 copies, and really only few of them more than that.
Experts on Scout, but most likely one list.
Yeah, maybe.
But
So
on the other hand, it's really nice that we have like 30 people is a good number. But of course it's not the biggest, but still we have many pilots in it.
oh yeah. So I can go through pilots who are presented by more than 1 pilot. It's like
Yep.
Seinar Jamus test pilot bomber from First Order. It's 2 copies. It's understandable generic pilot in 1 list, I guess. We have 2 Nimichirin on T70, 2 Lieutenant Bastians, 2 Finns. I guess we can already see a list archetype here.
Yeah, I think that's basically the 3 T70s with 2 pods.
Yeah.
Which
Which what?
Which due to the points I think could because we saw it that it's not like having many upgrades. So if you play this archetype, you might most likely play it in this combination of pilots.
Yeah, but I saw some upgrades. We can go.
We saw 2 upgrades.
Yeah,
but you are not going to exchange. What I mean is, yes, you can have other pilots, but what I'm saying is, because all I3 and you don't have like 20 points of upgrades.
Oh yeah, of course. It's like two upgrades. It's heroic on Finn and R68 on Xaver's. What
Yeah,
does it
and
do? Can you remember? R6D8.
no, no.
Okay, let me check. And Extreme Legacy Builder. R6D8. Okay, while you perform an attack, you may reroll a number of attack dice up to the number of friendly ships at range 0 to 3 that have the defender in their bullseye. So I guess if you have 5 ships, some of them will have it.
Yeah. I will be back to in a minute. You can do to go further.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I was saying that in the resistance list we see, it's like you probably not too much wiggle room to play this combination of 3 T70s and 2 pots. That's what I
that's
meant.
true. That's true. Okay, next we have 3 Obi-Wan Kenobis in Delta 7, 2 Major Wondrex, 2 Quick Draws, 2 Ahsoka Thanos is in Delta 7. Spam list with Black Squadron Scouts on TIE Strikers. Lieutenant Blount, 2 copies. I guess that's all Z75s. Yeah, just 2 Blounts. Yeah, really useful pilot. 2 Inquisitors, 2 Finraus, 2 Boba Fett's, Cartel Marauders, 2 Jake
Probably one with
Farrells.
2.
Yeah. 2 Jake Farrells. And 3 Bactoid drones.
And we have Battle for Yavin, Maul, and Backstabber.
Oh yeah.
Probably one list too.
Yeah.
With Darth Vader.
We can see a tendency that the multiple copies of ships are present like for high initiative pilots most of the time, besides resistance.
Yeah, that's true.
But like 2 copies is okay. Yes, in 22-person tournament.
Yeah, I think it's overall good variety. It's a bit like the factions could like the top 8. It's a bit unbalanced, but what I really like is that that's a variety of pilots in the Swiss is extremely varied.
Mm-hmm. And if we can look at the upgrades. Sorry, there is nothing that like strikes out of the overall mess. Like we have 5 homing missiles, 4 hull upgrades, stealth devices, 3 concussion missiles. So for 22 lists, there are not a lot of munitions, and nothing feels OP, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the main takeaway for me too. Like I really like it. It's not too much people, but we have a huge list of upgrades that are taken, different upgrades.
Yeah, it's nice to see a list like that.
Yeah, despite a small tournament.
Interesting. Can we count the number of upgrades somehow?
I don't know how to do it on the fly. I would say let's get to the list.
So we can briefly look at the lists based on factions. So, for example, Rebel Resistance or Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, then Wedge Antilles.
From Battle of Yavin.
Yeah.
Thane, Blount, West Jensen, really powerful pilot, and Phoenix Squadron pilot. like X-wing with support.
Yeah, X-wing with support.
Yeah, we have
And
5 A-wings with vectored cannons, all named.
yeah, all named, and now we know why there are 5 homing missiles.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Oh, and actually one hopeful.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, for Arwell, because
And
I guess it makes sense because Arwell shoots last.
yeah, yeah, probably makes sense. And he can boost into things.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
So the boost is better on him than on anybody else.
Mm-hmm. It's
Just
Jake.
from the, it can't be prevented, right? You can use it anytime.
Yeah, that's really neat use of it. And besides Arwell, there are Jake Farrell, Taicho Selchu, Veg Antilles, and Keo Venzi. A nice combo.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And also a new form from Hotshot and Aces. I
Yeah.
think we ranked her at C.
Um,
I'm not sure.
Keo Venzi?
Yeah,
Oh, we actually can.
C or B. I'm not sure. Tiger we ranked at A,
I can go
which is
to the previous episode and look it up.
yeah.
You can just name the other lists.
Yeah, then we have Canon Shows, which is nice to see the VCX in it. Really decked out. So still many upgrades, still upgrades are good usable in 2.0. Then Luke, which I find interesting, that's a STAS device. Like it makes sense, he's really defensive, but interesting, didn't have it before. Brilliant evasion, so he really doubles down on the defense of it all. It seems the player Francesco, and then as a pitcher, it doesn't say which, but yeah, probably the TIE Fighter. Yeah,
Yeah,
precision iron engines.
yeah. We put Kiara and B.
We put a B. Okay. Yeah. What do you think about really defensive Luke? I quite don't like it.
Um, it's Brilliant Vision is not so useful on 2 dice.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that's why there's test device.
Stealth device, yeah. I don't know. It's like investment. So much, so many points in defense that can be ruined with one shot
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
because you
I
can only
still,
modify eyeballs.
yeah, I still find it quirky and interesting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, and the next one, Netron Pollard, also interesting. He got a discount?
Mm.
Netron.
Oh
I
yeah,
think he
it's
got
the
it.
one who rotates, right?
Yeah,
We get AP5, Leighton Blount, Cassian Andor on uh, Ewing and Jake Farrell with proton rockets. A pretty nice salad. Different chassis with support abilities.
yeah.
And I guess Cassian Andor with the Trampollard fits perfectly.
Hmm. Yeah, it's nice. You can rotate and just get out of the stress. I think that could be something for a list I will try next time.
Yeah. So I guess let's briefly go through the other lists, like through the archetypes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to start?
I know. I think you can go through the Galactic Empire.
Okay. Then of course we have the swarm list. Swarm was not really swarm, but yeah, you have your Captain Pharaoh, which is a nice supporter or with Gus Saxon. I don't off the top of my head what Gus Saxon does.
It's You can remove red or orange token from the defender to roll one extra die. And we have Lit and Dree with Structure Beam, who can inflict orange tokens.
Oh yeah, Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's nice to see. And you can do the tractor beam, so the other Black Squadron scouts can punch harder.
Mm-hmm. And I guess you can use Director Krennic for tractor beam shots.
Yeah. It's so really nice synergy between Captain Farrow, Lieutenant Tuyi, and Farrow also can do the coordinate. No, he can do
he can, yeah.
the coordinate. Then another Black Squadron bombs. Scout, not bombs, Black Squadron scouts with bombs and Predator and Inquisitor and Jingoist, which with feedback array. You don't see it really interestingly. While there's feedback array.
I would like to know if Jacopo managed to trigger it once.
Yeah. And then we have Darth Vader with Mauler's Backstabber, which is a really which is the two pilots you take with Vader and Hole Runner. Interesting with Juke, so really expensive.
Yeah,
but
really. And I think it would be better to take regular Mauler, so there's more room for upgrades or even another ship.
Or the Dark Horse, which prevents your opponent from modifying dice. So it's so if you fly Darth Vader, Mauler, and Backstabber in a block, you can have Dark Horse like being outside of the block because he's so defensive.
I played against Dark Curse, and it's like a distraction that you need to either destroy in one shot or just forget about it and concentrate fire on another ships. I think Hull Runner fits here way better.
Yeah.
But not with Juke.
Yeah, Juke is a bit. On the other hand, you most likely will the focus is most of the times better. Then two defenders and a filler a TIE fighter, which is nice to see. Defenders.
Yes, Saint Marana, who inflicts a damage card under the shields. Yeah. It's she's really scary, or he. I don't know. Yeah, and two defenders. It's nice to see.
Yeah, and two I5 defenders. So, you can really take advantage of the Juke and force the opponent to get rid of their modifications if you manage to get both on them. So the defenses are even better.
Yeah, then you can for Scum. Yeah, for Scum we have two Shadowcasters with Mandalorian Royal Guard. It's also a new pilot from the Pride of Mandalore pack, if I remember it right.
Yeah,
it's like it gives a condition to the medium or large ship and boosts its defense capabilities.
Yeah,
and it's Asajj and Ketsu pretty standard loadout. There's like stress and tractor beams.
So basically, just the Mandalorian. You can gain a deplete and a strain token, and if you do, the friendly ship can change one result to an evade.
Yeah,
that's a part of it. So you keep the big ships alive longer.
Yeah, and the Shadowcasters are really tough to kill. 10 HP, two greens, and really good blue maneuvers, like 3 banks are blue. Oh my god. On a large base. That's ridiculous.
And the debuff between the stress from Asai and the
Kitsonia.
Tractor, the tractor from Katsu.
Yeah. Well, we have also Fenrir and Boba Fett, the iconic duo, Heavy Boba and Fearless Fen. Like it's this list placed at ninth in this tournament. Well, I think that the crew slot to get removed from Boba uh, worked again, yet again, once again.
That elusive screw slot.
Yeah.
I would tend to give it Boba.
We have another iconic scam list is Drea Rental with 4 cartel murders, and also Boba Fett list, but with a twist. It's also L337 with them.
Yeah.
And Boba with no upgrades. That's a rare occasion.
Yeah, one upgrade in such a list. It's
Yeah.
interesting. You don't see it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
I've like okay, we can talk about Scam and Villainy later, but let's go to the Resistance.
Yeah, I think that's a topic we can have at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, Resistance. We have the what we told the T70 and 2 pods. The Way and Podemeron really proven pair 2, really upgrade heavy. And then it's nice to see actually a Star Fortress in it.
With Vinny.
Yeah, and doing 8s, getting in the top 8. A Star Fortress getting in the top 8.
Yeah, it's 2 T70s, Finn and Venny on Bomber. Heavy loaded with seismic charges, proton bombs, trajectory simulator, novice technician, and agile gunner. Well, in both all 3 lists are in top 8, with the first place, third place, and 8th. So yeah, you can say that Resistance, rocks
It's
right
really
now.
strong. Yeah.
So what the first order? 2 major one ranks in 2 lists. But then they have also 2 quick draws, and the only difference is Kylo Ren with advanced proton torpedoes or 2 Saner Jamus test pilots with proximity mines, and electrocharged missiles. So it's interesting that both one Rex are the same stealth device and proud tradition. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would have I flown Vonreg a bit. I like the deterring power cells on him because it's more defensive. Would have expected it with stealth device, so have maximum defense or regen, or at least okay, it's not. They are not helping with defense, but once stealth device though goes down, you can regenerate.
Yeah, it's interesting that these lists performed really um, on the opposite sides. So Bomber's list placed on the 4th, and Kylo Ren's list placed on the 18th.
Yeah.
So I wonder, have there really a meta for Major Van Rack established with the stealth device and proud tradition? Maybe I should test it.
Yeah, sounds interesting. Yeah, I think in probably the machine, the test pilots with the electroshaft missile can better, for example, can make it so that the opponent gets rid of their tokens if you place them right, and quick draw hits harder. And Major One Work also hits harder because he can get his lock and focus.
Yeah, and it's interesting that um, uh, this list have electroshaft missiles, and Markor specifically um, didn't invest in fire control systems on Quick Draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
Probably no
target loses
bugs.
its locks and cannot be locked while it's on
Yeah,
it.
I think that's the reason. It's not synergizing with Electroshaft because you are losing your locks and getting a gem.
Yep, yep.
Oh yeah, it cannot be locked. You're getting a gem.
Mm-hmm,
I think
mm-hmm.
that it is. So the lock that you have taken on it, it's going away.
So Galactic Republic next. It's placed on the second place, the 7th, and 21st.
Yeah. So Susim Obi-Wan is really strong. I think that's the main takeaway. I would have liked
he
to
always
have
been
Hmm?
he always been a strong pilot.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the T70s, the arcs higher.
But
Yeah,
they are not they're not agile in a way of applying them. They play pretty straightforwardly, and ships like Delta 7 are um, more capable of adjusting to the opponent's list.
yeah. I think that's probably it because, if you go for arcs, you want 3 at least, or you want to have a different list, perhaps with torrents or Y-wings or something, where it's like you don't have these deltas who don't want to come under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You have other beef that can just stay with the arcs.
Yeah. My point was about ability of engaging when you want to engage and disengaging when it's needed. Because if you like point your calibrated laser targeting at one ship with your multiple Delta 7s, you can melt it pretty quickly. And the next turn, you can evade all the arcs.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember playing against Marco with this exact list. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Plo Koon, Yoda in the Ep9 with Sense, and Ahsoka Tano on Delta 7. It is really strong list, and it deserves to be at the second place. Uh, Also, I really liked Yoda because he can feed Force to Ahsoka for more support, and also can be a really good distraction with his system phase reposition and sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and also we have a pretty iconic list: Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ricole, and Anakin Skywalker in Delta 7B with hull
Yeah.
upgrade. Oh, instead of regen, there is hull upgrade.
Hmm. Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
probably
yeah,
it's
go
more
on.
reliable. It's more reliable.
Yeah, I guess.
Uh, than-
And we have the third list with the Sinker, Wolfie, and two Delta 7s, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, with COTs. There's like a Sinker lets rerolls, Wolfie adds or rerolls his own attack dice. Yeah, there is some synergy with Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. Of course.
yeah. Think can let them reroll dice, but that's but I think for the deltas they want to disengage, but Thinker is can you have to be in his side arcs and probably not too flexible
Yeah, I
with
guess
chips that want
Sinker
to be
can be
flexible.
replaced.
Yeah.
And Separatists. That's an interesting choice of pilots.
Yeah.
We have Jango Fett and Darth Maul. Mm, I don't know, like schemators in two ship lists nowadays is not a good idea, I guess. But Marcelo did good in this tournament. Ended up on 11th place.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, and then the other list, we rated Dodge at A, but in this list, yeah, it's 22s. It's an
Dorch is A, but there are some times when you proc his ability and he dies anyway because there are a lot of like bad crits.
Yeah, that could be true. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
and
need that.
I remember losing Dirge because he picked up so many crits and cards from his regular defense, and after resolving his ability, he didn't remove any of it, and he had like 8 cards or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's heavily relies on random, and there are 3 Bactoid drones. So concussion missiles, cluster missiles, and diamond baron missiles. And there is not enough synergy for them to execute all of this, all of it, all of their firepower, because
Yeah, it's a
they
bit
need
overload.
locks.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
he has a probe droids. I see it now.
Yes, pop droids. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
with
I
probe
think
droids,
that's
it's
also the
okay.
issue. Yeah, it's a bit like too many missiles.
Um,
Uh,
I like to take ion missiles instead of concussion because it leaves a lot of room for other upgrades, and you
yeah,
still have a 3 dice attack. And most of the time, with calculate and like 1 or 2 rerolls, you you can push through 1 damage, something like that. And ion
yeah.
rockets do.
Lock, yeah, and if you get more, you can lock them down, which especially in this list with more munitions and Dirge with his proton cannon under the right circumstances can be really brutal.
Yeah, I I need to remember how much is the whole upgrade for. For 1 evade, it's 3 points. And if you switch concussion missiles for ion missiles, you can add a whole upgrade for uh, Victor drones.
Yeah,
And with that, they will have an 9. They will have 9 hull, like with the shots, and their half-point threshold will move from 4 to 5, and it's really a big change.
yeah,
Me
that's probably.
personally, I tend to add shield or hull upgrades only to ships with the even number of health because of that.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the half point threshold is important.
So we went through all the lists, all the data, and we can see we can talk about the mm, feedback from Italian players and their feel of the balance.
Yeah, definitely. So I think yes, one point we got feedback on was that, of course, as you see, Gum is in a bit of a rough place. They got discounts, but probably yeah, some pilots are still, or many pilots are still underperforming. We've seen that the Lancers are okay, um, but what we got is that the legacy chip to shine and to complete with.
Yeah, it was said that uh, there is no like competitive or efficient third ship that you can put in the list with the two lancers, for example.
Yeah, and the Confederacy isn't played too much in Italian community, so it's probably not that they are bad or underperforming. It's just too few players playing them to say, okay, they are bad or they are good, or too less data points and too few players playing them.
Yeah, maybe we'll see in the future tournaments in Italy.
Yeah, and Empire isn't in a bad spot right now. There hasn't been, of course, there hasn't been the Battle of Yavin pilots, which we have seen a bit of use at least.
Yeah. So what we got from Italian players is that yeah, as you said, Empire is in a good place, but um, many of Italian players, I guess, got tired of Empire not having a lot of new ships and pilots,
Yeah,
and like TIE fighters are not the most exciting ships. Um, and you get TIE Heavy, which is nice. TIE Heavy pilot from Hot Shots and Aces is really good.
yeah. But like I said, TIE
Who
Fighters is not the most exciting. And because outside of TIE Fighters and the TIE Heavy, which is good, there weren't too many like interesting new pilots.
Yeah, I think that I can recommend trying new interceptors or mid-initiative interceptors.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think too. Having played the mid initiative interceptors and that special the Battle of Yavin interceptors, I think
and
they
also,
are
yeah,
very interesting because they play differently with the different pilot chassis, this ability, and some of the fun and quirky like slamming or getting a lock in the system phase.
yeah, and yeah, of course, Rebel, First Order, Resistance, and Grand Army of Republic are on a good power level. As we can see on the tournament statistics, they are pretty. Uh, they are there. Players are choosing them to play. They're getting to the top cut. Actually, we can look at the second tournament in the series and um, see the top cut.
Yeah.
So there is like top eight is two Empire players, three Resistance players, Scum, Rebel, and Republic. So no First Order, no Separatist for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
That's okay, I guess. What we have there also? Podemeron, Zizitlo, Rostika, Talisin Litra. Interesting. For Rebels, Um, Rebels, it's Bentic to tubes, a couple of T60s, Lieutenant Blount. For the Republic, it's Eta 2, Anakin Skywalker, Delta 7 Obi-Wan Kenobi, Delta 7 Plo Koon, and Kickback in a turret. Siege of Coruscant, Siege of Coruscant version.
Yeah.
Scum, I guess, Fang Fighter, Mandalorian Royal Guard, Boba Fett, and the Mandalorian on ST-70. And for the Empire, the second list, it's Vader plus Sunter plus Echo.
Yeah, Wider Classic. I like some
Oh yeah, yeah, of
the
course.
better Coruscant in it. Nice to see new stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what can be done for Scum right now.
Like I think it's can some pilots perhaps cheaper. I don't play Scum too much, so I'm not the best player to ask. But yeah, I think probably some things coming down, so they can make a bit of a better salad.
Mhm.
For
I'm
example,
I'm interesting how much Italian players were experimenting with the scam lists. Maybe they were like modifying previous competitive lists, like as we can see, Boba Fett, Drea with Cartel Marauders, and etc.
yeah,
etc. Or
I
maybe there are some pretty undiscovered new combinations.
I strongly suspect once people use the IGs, um, they use it in they use Dirge, but I think that could be done more with Dirge.
I mean, you mean
They
Rogue class?
World class, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
forgot it. Yeah,
yeah, they're
it's
fun.
about
Yeah, they are not easy
um,
to manage with all that stress. But if you play them right, they are great. And scam pilots
yeah,
are better than separatist ones.
yeah, absolutely. Um,
Except Dirge. Scam Dirge is worse. But I've never
yeah,
played him,
some
so
is
it's
good.
only on paper.
Yeah, I think, for example, I think the chip chassis is really solid. Um, and for example, Cutbane is a nice, nice chip.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that perhaps could be more experimented on because it can has so many slots on so many things you can equip and do.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for those couple tournaments
Yeah,
and the feedback.
we will. Yeah, as more things tournaments happen, of course we will cover them.
Yeah,
Probably, hopefully, and somewhere this year another big team tournament with 50 players. We can talk about too.
yeah. And yeah, as always, we are eager to hear your feedback, whether you like our podcast or not, or where can we improve it. And for the tournaments, even if you are running a small tournament, you can reach out to us and we'll cover it in our podcast, like today's episode, for example.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was it for today for the Droid Pit.
Yeah, thank you, listeners, for
Yeah,
being
thank
with
you
us.
everyone listening.
Thank you, Italian players, for playing and hosting your tournaments online.
Yeah, and keeping legacy alive.
Yeah, big thanks. Much love.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
bye bye.
bye.
All right, cut the chatter.